This shouldn't have worked. But it did. Las Vegas. Late 1970s. A young man named Doyne Farmer stands quietly beside a roulette table. He isn't talking. He isn't celebrating. He isn't even betting yet. To everyone watching, he's just another visitor waiting on the next spin. In the corner of the room, a pit boss doesn't even glance his way. It isn't luck in his corner tonight, and it isn't a system either. It's a computer. Hidden inside the thick heel of his platform shoe. 3 kilobytes, hand-programmed in raw machine code, built to solve a problem the entire planet agrees can't be solved. The dealer releases the ball. Farmer taps his big toe 4 times. The machine buzzes against his body. A moment later, he steps forward, places his chips, and wins. Then he does it again. And again. Nobody in the room has any idea what just happened. The strangest part isn't that the machine works. This was never really about roulette. To understand why, we have to rewind to 2 broke physics students who refused to believe luck was the whole story. The story really begins hundreds of miles from Las Vegas at the University of California, Santa Cruz. In the late 1970s, Doyne Farmer and his close friend Norman Packard weren't professional gamblers. They're broke graduate students, stretching every dollar while chasing big scientific ideas. Their dream isn't to get rich overnight, it's to keep doing the research they love without money running out from under them. Most people around them accept roulette as one of the few games nobody can beat. Cards can be counted, dice can bounce differently. But roulette? That's supposed to be pure chance, the casino's one unbeatable game. Every casino on Earth depends on people believing exactly that. Farmer isn't convinced. His work revolves around systems that look random but actually follow hidden patterns underneath. One simple question keeps bothering him. What if it isn't? That question grows into an obsession. Together with Packard and a small circle of researchers later nicknamed the Chaos Cabal, they spend long nights debating physics instead of gambling strategy. To them, a spinning roulette wheel isn't magic. It's an object obeying Newton's laws, just like a falling apple or a swinging pendulum. If every movement follows physics, maybe the outcome isn't completely random after all. The idea sounds ridiculous. They're about to risk nearly everything they have. Their savings, their academic reputations, years of work, on an experiment most people would laugh at. And here is the part nobody believed at the time. Imagine predicting where a roulette ball is going to land before anyone else at the table. You wouldn't need the exact pocket. Even knowing the right section of the wheel would completely change the odds. That single possibility is what pulls Farmer and Packard deeper in. They aren't trying to beat luck. They're trying to measure physics before anyone else can. The breakthrough comes from treating roulette as a moving mechanical system instead of a casino game. The ball leaves the dealer's hand at a measurable speed. The wheel spins at another measurable speed in the opposite direction. Friction slows the ball. Timing decides when it drops from the rim toward the numbered pockets. Measure those starting conditions fast enough, and the landing area becomes predictable. Not the exact number, but a small section, roughly 1 octant of the wheel. That's all they need. Physics doesn't care what a casino believes. To test the theory, they buy a regulation casino wheel and install it in the basement of their shared house, spinning it by some accounts tens of thousands of times, building homemade timing rigs out of cameras, oscilloscopes, and handwritten notes. By some accounts, the system reaches roughly a 44% edge in the lab. Real casino conditions, they know, will bring that number down. At one point, simply shipping the wheel across state lines draws unwanted attention from the FBI. The suspicion clears fast. The project survives, and so does the idea. Here is the secret the casinos never wanted measured. Now they face a different problem. Proving the math in a basement is one thing. Making it work on a crowded casino floor, unnoticed, is something else. So instead of building a bigger computer, they build a smaller one, much smaller. At its heart sits a tiny MOS 6502 processor on a compact circuit board, battery-powered, hidden inside a custom platform shoe. Tiny toe switches under the kicker's foot become timing inputs. A few steps away, the shooter feels the computer's answer arrive as a coded vibration through the harness. If a solenoid misfires even once, the shooter bets blind. The operation depends on perfect teamwork. One person becomes the kicker, standing quietly beside the wheel, doing nothing but timing the spin with a hidden toe press. A second person, the shooter, waits for that coded vibration against the chest before placing the bet. They never speak to each other on the floor, not once. If something goes wrong, only one of them is ever supposed to get caught. And here's the part that should sound impossible. They recruit roughly 16 to 20 trusted students and drill the routine until it's automatic. No talking, no eye contact, never celebrate. Win modest amounts, then disappear. Rotate between Las Vegas and Reno so nobody sees the same faces twice. They give themselves one deadline: ready before the summer casino season starts, or wait another year. Practice reveals a problem nobody expected. Heat builds inside the clothing. Sweat creeps into the wiring. The same warmth that steadies his nerves is exactly what's most likely to give him away. Small electrical shocks grow stronger. Loose cables threaten to expose the whole rig just as pit bosses start paying closer attention. For a second, it feels like everything might end before it starts. And the wildest part? None of it was against the rules. By the summer of 1978, the experiment leaves the basement and enters real casinos. Small two-person teams spread across Las Vegas and Reno, moving quietly between the Stardust, Caesars, the Sahara, and eventually the Golden Nugget. The routine never changes. The kicker watches the wheel and taps hidden switches with a toe. A vibration reaches the shooter a moment later. Chips land on the predicted section. The wheel slows, the ball drops. They win often enough to turn an impossible idea into real money, then leave before anyone notices. At one table, a pit boss lingers a beat too long, radio in hand, studying the shooter's face before finally walking away. Nobody breathes until he's gone. And then, something changes. What do you do about the one variable no one can train away? Sweat. The same sweat that made the long nights uncomfortable starts creating dangerous electrical paths inside the harness. Wires rub against skin. Solenoids overheat. During one operation, a teammate suffers a serious electrical burn, bad enough to need treatment at a clinic. For a moment, on a casino floor surrounded by security cameras, the whole operation is one flinch away from unraveling. The mission continues that night, but the excitement is gone. Back at the house, the question nobody wanted to ask finally hangs over the table. Was proving the idea worth risking someone's health? The answer surprises everyone. They vote to stop while they're still ahead. The wearable computers are dismantled. The harnesses are destroyed. The roulette wheel is sold. By various accounts, the team walks away with roughly $10,000, a modest sum by design. They were never chasing a jackpot, just proof. They're never arrested and nothing is ever proven against them because at the time, they haven't actually broken the law. But here is what almost nobody notices about that night. Hard cut. They vanish, not from prediction, just from Vegas. And that is the twist the casinos are still trying to bury. In 1991, Farmer and Packard co-found Prediction Company, aiming for the same instinct: find structure inside systems everyone calls random, at Wall Street instead of a wheel. Not the same code, not the same algorithm. By some accounts, Farmer himself has said the trading models were built differently, just the same eye for pattern, pointed at a much bigger table. Prediction Company was reportedly acquired by UBS in 2006 and later folded into Millennium in 2013. Exact terms were never made public. Farmer goes on to research complexity economics at the Santa Fe Institute and Oxford. Meanwhile, casinos can't out-argue Newton, so they change the table instead. Electronic wheels, airball systems, earlier bet cutoffs, quietly engineering the old trick out of existence. Not everywhere, but enough. The shoe sits in a museum now, in Germany, behind glass. A curiosity, a 3-kilobyte relic from before the world went digital. The wheel it was built to beat is quietly being swapped out for machines that no physics can crack. The loophole is being sealed one casino floor at a time. And the two nerds who started it? They were never really roulette players. They were prediction machines that happened to be human. So they found a bigger wheel. It spins on Wall Street. It never stops. It pays out in numbers that would make $10,000 look like a rounding error. And this time, when they win, Nobody follows them into the bathroom. Nobody taps them on the shoulder. Nobody makes them leave the table.